want to respond to Hannah Hart's video she just released. I really love it. I'm watching the way that she articulates things and the clarity with which she uses her language, and how she combines with her language specific movements, like to express certain things, and she'll use her eyesight in different ways when she's speaking different words. So she really gives this power to a message in the ways that she moves. And it was a video of her drunk talking about feelings, and now here I am late night Saturday, stoned, wanting to respond. So I feel like one inebriated member of society to another. But she there's this part where she was like, yeah, I don't know, like, what is it, fill in the blank? And I was like thinking, I'm gonna try to fill in that blank, because I feel like I know what she's talking about. So to know what I'm talking about, you have to watch the video, and you have to know the video because I'm referencing it in my mind. And I don't care to explain it to you because she delivers it so much better. And yeah, but she was talking about the sort of sense of being ourselves, like being at peace with ourselves, being comfortable with ourselves, and that search, right? Like what that is, to actually, and these are in my words now, and this is where I'm filling in that gap, but to have and truly to feel a sense of individuality. I think it's very easy to know, theoretically, a sense of individuality, right? In that, well, the nature of my perception makes me believe that my physical body is separate from other physical bodies, therefore I must be an individual, right? Like, but that's theory, right? And people can reference you like you're an individual, but it's all head knowledge. To me, that's what I think. And I feel like there's another form of knowing, a form of feeling that we all actually operate on most of the time, and that Hannah really feels, I think, from watching her. And it's that type of knowing that I think I and a lot of others struggle to verbalize, you know? Anyways, I don't even know what that means, but I was thinking about what it is to sort of have an embodied knowledge, meaning like knowledge through feeling that isn't immediately translatable into the cognitive, or into the linguistic, rather, I should say. I mean, I think, well, I guess I don't think all the cognitive is linguistic, but yeah, shit, it's too complicated to follow. So, yeah, I was thinking a lot about my own paths towards that thing she describes. That sort of feeling of being clear, right? Where one's emotions and all these things she sort of talks about in the video, but that feeling of being clear, I think it's something that a lot of people can sort of resonate with or understand. Like, that I am me, that you are you. And then there are times that sometimes we're not clear. Yeah. It's so interesting as I'm saying this, like my body's going into physical sort of responses, and it's almost like my arm has gone rigid and my hand cocked up, and it's almost like I'm holding something back below me. And I felt this whole emotional response, and I sort of felt myself caught into this like a trance essentially, but like a motion or a movement that has meaning and could become something like a seed. And I recognize the fact that I'm making a YouTube video, right? And I'm talking and I'm responding. And so there's a different thing for me to do right now. And so I sort of stopped this movement, or sort of looked at it as what it was, like a potential seed of movement. So this is going somewhere. It's that my sort of feeling of what that blank space is it's the as I think about it more and more, I get confused, and I think that's probably kind of how I started, though, with that premise that there is a way to know something that isn't fully explainable in words or thoughts. And then I was making that distinction between cognitive and linguistic, because I think I could actually think about it in some forms of cognitive activity, but not linguistically, at least not so far. But I think I might be able to represent it visually, and actually certainly auditorily, I think. Anyways, I don't even fully understand all that. It's so confusing. Anyways. But I do think that we have these sort of moments of feeling, essentially, which is like neurological patterning, and we're thinking and we're feeling, and we have these moments that like could become something. And we're watching many of these moments pass, and that's essentially makes us feel as though those are like different selves. And I think the feeling most people have is actually that, subconsciously, and they've probably never spoken it, but that they feel themselves wanting and doing all these different things in their mind and their body, and they're like, but people have told me there should be a solid sense of self, and so they look for it, and then they beat themselves up and make themselves crazy, because in their feeling sense, right, in their quote-unquote embodied knowledge that's like precognitive in some way, I think, they seem to recognize the changing nature of an individual, of a human, of a consciousness, but and perhaps it comes down to linguism, right? Perhaps it's linguism that's actually causing the problem, but I can't even tell yet. But I'm getting myself lost. So yeah, perhaps in the embodied knowing, we somehow know the changing nature of the person, which you're even sort of witnessing me as I go through the different thoughts, right? It's like I can go in different directions, and I have to choose which way I go. But it's almost as though, this is how I seem to feel it, that in my senses, because they're always changing, those are inherently like neurological movements, patterns, memories, emotions, trauma, whatever you want to call them, like that thing that science is trying to explain. And it's almost like I choose to go down one, and like if I live the lie, right, that a lot of like the millennials kind of have seen the older generations have sort of done, it's like they seem to tether their feeling sense so intently to the singular notion, conceptual notion, cognitive notion of the individual, that they sacrifice this sort of infinitude of beauty of their own embodied knowledge, their feeling sense. That is to say, they become one thing, and they become so like cold inside, like they've lost themselves, that this new generation, I think, is really somehow about finding a different sense of self. Oh, damn. That was a really good pop, like almost all the way up my spine. I'm gonna put that shit on video, damn. Yeah, but I still can't get it all the way up into the top. I don't know why. It's like my spine won't. Yeah, see, I'm digressing. I probably ran out of film already. I mean, this is enough for now, I think.